let us know who we have here with us. Kevin, Scotland, how are you, Kevin? Now, while we're waiting, I'm going to play a little bit of motivational audio here. This is stuff that I like to use as I'm working, stuff that I like to listen to as I'm working on a new project. So give us a few more moments. I'm going to let some audios play here, and we will be starting shortly.
To the arena called life. You're going to feel you know what you can do sometimes.
You know what you have done, and you also have seen what has been done by others in your environment, by others in your circumstances. Then you look at where you want to go, and what most people do, they do that which they feel they know that can work because they've already done it or they've seen it done. And so they allow their negative history to determine the possibilities for them. And so when they run into a roadblock, even if they have something beyond their comfort zone, when they run into a roadblock, something happens to them. Most people allow life to control them and their circumstances. Look into the future. What is it you want? What is it you'd like to create for you? You want to make your dream come true, you got to stay focused. Some people rather get even than get ahead. Stay focused on where you want to go. This is not going to be it for my life. I deserve more than this. See, that will start making you do some stuff. Not only is it possible for you to have your dream, but it's necessary. It's necessary that you have it, that you work on it, that you develop yourself, that you go for what is yours in the universe. The major key to your reaching your dream, your living up to your greatness, your making your contribution to your making things happen in your life is you. But you've got to take personal responsibility to make it happen. That you make it happen, that you don't give up, that you don't take any objection or disappointment or defeats personally, that you keep on keeping on, that you don't decide that I can't make it because you can't see the light at the end of the tunnel. Live your life with passion, with some drive. You've got to remind yourself that you've got powers within you, talents within you that you haven't even reached for yet. So whatever dream you got, that dream, that idea, that has been given to you. There's no guarantee that because somebody is now gone on their luck, they can never come back. Who can guarantee that you can't make it, that you can't have your dream? Who can guarantee that you can't do what you want to do? No one can do that. No one can predict that. All we need to do is we look at our dream as we get ready to hit the floor. I'm vested, I'm in favor.
Okay, we will be starting in just about 60 more seconds. Who's ready to rock and roll? Who's hungry, as Les Brown would say? Who's hungry for new information that can help take things to the next level? Put a yes into the questions box if you are.
I've often said that I wish people could realize all their dreams in wealth and fame, and so that they could see that it's not where you're going to find your sense of completion. I can tell you from experience, the effect you have on others is the most valuable currency there is. How will you serve the world? What do they need that your talent can provide? That's all you have to figure out. Why not take a chance on faith as well? Not religion, but faith. Not hope, but faith. I don't believe in hope. Hope is a beggar. Hope walks through the fire, and faith leaps over it. You are ready and able to do beautiful things in this world.
As a child, my parents always told me you could be whatever you want to be. You can do whatever you want to do. But I didn't totally believe it. Yet I went out in the world and I carried myself and I held my head high and I stood there and I looked people in their eyes and I talked to people as if I was deserving of everything that this planet has to offer. Confucius said one time, he who says he can and he who says he can't are both usually right.
It's time to change. It's time to walk down another street. Dream.
I just want to ask you one question. What do you want to be remembered for?
Greg Cesa, and welcome to our training today. But before we get started, I just wanted to make sure that you guys can hear me. If you can hear me, just type in yes in the chat box. Go ahead and type that into the chat box. Okay, cool. We are getting some yeses, which means our audio is coming through nice and clear. Also, tell me your name and where you are calling in from today. Let's see who we have online. All right, looks like we got a very nice international crowd. We've got Bob says he's from the UK. We've got Tom from South Carolina. We've got George from Texas. Mary is from, I think that's Netherlands, but I could be wrong. We've got Sue from Australia. That is awesome. Welcome, Sue. Hopefully it's not too late over there. We've got Tony from Texas. We've got Al from Connecticut. Connecticut's in the house. I'm actually originally from Connecticut, so welcome, Al. We have, who is that? Another Sue. Hey, Sue, how are you? So, hey, looks like we've got a nice international crowd. Also means you guys are able to hear me, which is great. I want to let you know the training we have for you guys today will actually change your life. What you're going to learn is actually something that I implemented years ago and have turned into a lot of money, but more importantly, a lot of automated money. In other words, money that comes in without me having to do very much work. Now, here's the beauty. The person I learned it from is actually the person who's going to be teaching you today. So if you are like me, you're an action taker, you thrive for new content and new knowledge, and you're going to take action on this, then you definitely want to pay attention. Put away all your distractions, because what you're going to learn today will absolutely change your life. But here's the other thing. I don't have just any Tom, Dick, and Harry teaching you this. Not only did I learn from this person, but this is someone who is not only a friend, but we consider him family. His kids call me uncle. My kids call him uncle. When he's in town, he stays at my house. When I'm by them, I stay at their house. And we've known each other now. God, we're getting old. Almost 11 years. So I only bring you the best, and I only bring you the people that I trust that can teach you. And like I said, I've learned from this gentleman, and you can also. So with that being said, let me turn it over to my good buddy, my friend, Ty Cohen. Ty, go ahead and take over, and I'll have myself muted here in the background, and I'll let you do your thing.
All right, guys. Greg, I appreciate that. That was awesome. I really, really appreciate that. You know, that intro, man, I'm really humbled by it. I actually have to take you, I gotta take you on the road with me if I ever decide to go speaking or doing speaking engagements, right? So as Greg said, my name is Ty, and you know, I've actually made six figures way before Kindle, and this was with Amazon's other program that few people have heard of, and it's called the Amazon Advantage Program. How many people have ever heard of the Advantage Program? All right? This is a program that they started, I'd say maybe about a year or two after Amazon actually got started, and this is a program that's actually still around today. And the Advantage Program is for people that want to sell physical books. There was a time where I was selling 7,000, 8,000 physical books a month on Amazon. And because of that, because of the success that I had with their program, Amazon invited me to become a beta tester for their new program, which was the KDP, Kindle Direct Publishing Program. Now I'm known as the king of Amazon Kindle Publishing. I spent years running tests to discover what works and what doesn't, price points, topics, covers, how to start and profit fast. I've made millions with Amazon. Hundreds of extremely successful students across the globe have been shown what I'm going to share with you. I've taught dozens of 7- and 8-figure marketers. I've taught what I'm going to share with you. I've taught this to their families, to their children, to their wives, and most importantly, I've taught my family how to make a killing using what I'm going to show you as well, right? And now I'm going to show you exactly how to do the same as well. Now, we have a questions box that many of you were just really active in, and I want to make sure that as we're going through this presentation, if I cover something that you're not familiar with, if I cover something that you want more clarity on, make sure that you ask me questions. I love the questions, right? I'm a big believer in the fact that there's no such thing as a dumb question. The other thing is, you know, I want this to be a highly interactive presentation. So meaning I don't want to just talk to you, I want you to talk to me as well. Okay? So again, you talk to me, I'll talk to you as well. All right, so now, you know, a couple of years ago I got to meet one of my mentors. How many people know who this gentleman on the screen is right now? Tony Robbins, right? He says if you want to be successful, find someone who has achieved the results you want and copy what they do and you'll achieve the same results. Right. Now, when I met him, we got a chance to hang out for a while, my wife and his wife, Sage, and I was intrigued by the fact that he asked me more questions than almost anyone that I've ever been around. Now, here's a guy who's worth hundreds of millions of dollars, and he's asking me questions, right? He's asking me questions. Screen is frozen, someone has said. Let me see. Can you see now? Oh, there you go. Okay. Thank you, Brendan and Dan and John and Joy. Thank you. All right, so he's this is a guy that's worth hundreds of millions of dollars, and he's asking me questions, right? Because I find that successful people, they do that. They'll ask questions and they'll soak it all in. Now, what I'm going to share with you on this presentation is how to partner with Amazon to create an instant stream of monthly recurring revenue without having to personally do all of the hard work. This is a system that Amazon makes extremely easy. And I want you to think about that. Why would they make something available on their site and make the process easy? It's because they make money when you make money. All right? Now, let's get to it. First, what is a Kindle? Before we begin, let's talk about what exactly is a Kindle and why it's so important to anyone who is looking for an easy, secure, long-lasting residual way to make money online. Well, the Kindle is a portable ebook reader that was developed by Amazon.com that allows its users to be able to shop for, download, browse, and read ebooks, newspapers, magazines, blogs, reports, and other digital media. Right now, there's a digital shift that's taking place where people are buying and consuming written material in the form of ebooks more than ever before, and this trend will continue, right? And let me ask you a question here. Greg says that he has a smart audience, and I want to test you. Who remembers the form that we first started listening to music in? I'm talking about decades, right? If you go way back. Who remembers the form that we first started listening to music in? Put your answer into the questions box here. Let's see who gets it. Teresa says vinyl. What else? Real to Real says download. Okay, I like that. I like those answers. So record says Glenn. So think about it, right? Records, vinyl, Real to Real. Okay, 78 says Jeff. Radio says Dan, right? Remember The Strangest Secret, right? Phonograph says Donald. Live music says Jeff. And then after that, so after live and radio and vinyl, what came next? What came next after that? We had 8-tracks. Says, who said that? Teresa and Paul, right? Jeff says 8-tracks. After 8-tracks, what did we start listening to our music? In what format? Cassette, says Jeff, right? And then after cassettes, right, we went to CDs. Jeff's got them all. He's rocking and rolling. Jeff, Teresa, Donald, thank you guys. So now we're at the CD age, right? And then we passed that, and now what do we primarily listen to our music in what format? In a digital format, says Teresa. Streaming, says Jeff. Exactly. Absolutely. Now, do you think we'll ever go back to the point where we primarily listen to our music in the form of a vinyl record or a CD or an 8-track, right? Not at all. Not at all. Jeff says, not me. Doubt it. No, says Teresa. All right? Christy says, I doubt it. Now, there's some people that collect vinyl, right? But for the most part, we'll continue to listen to our music in a digital format. I've got to adjust my headset here. Now, the same for the publishing industry. As a matter of fact, There was a press release put out by Jeff Bezos, the CEO of Amazon, who's this handsome gentleman that you see on the cover of Success magazine here. And he says for every 100 hardcover books Amazon has sold, the company has sold twice that amount in digital Kindle books. All right? Twice that amount. There's 7 billion prospects that are out there that are actually buying these digital ebooks. Right? 7 billion people on the face of the earth, 7 billion mobile devices that are out there and counting. Right? We're actually at the point where we have more mobile devices than people on planet Earth. And because Amazon recognized this, they said, hey, not everyone will go in and buy the Kindle device, but let's create an app that they can use on their PC, their Macintosh, their iPod, their iPad, their iPhone, their BlackBerry, their Android. And this app will function like the Kindle itself to a degree, where people can actually visit Amazon.com, browse for, purchase, and download ebooks in just a matter of minutes. Okay, how many people have a Kindle device? Just put me. If you have a Kindle device, put 1. I want you to see this. If you have a Kindle device, just put 1. If you have a Kindle app on one of your mobile devices, put 2. If you have the Kindle device and like an app on one of your mobile devices, put 1, 2. And I just want to see. So wow, the 1s and the 2s are flying in here. We've got Teresa says 2. We've got Deb 1, 2. We've got John 1, 2. Brendan 1, 2. Rick 2. Winona, I love that name. 1, 2. Helena 1, 2. Jacqueline 2. That's my assistant's name. Jacqueline, nice name. Patricia 1, 2. So yes. So look at this. I mean, everyone has either a Kindle device or they have an app on one of your mobile devices. So this is your marketplace right here. Everyone that's watching this presentation is your marketplace. Christy says 1, Brendan says 1, Joe 1, Donald 2, Christy 2, Brendan. We've got two Brendans on here. 2. Glenn says 2. All right. Now this digital shift, all right, and publishing platform that Amazon has provided is making some people extremely wealthy and at the least financially free with very little effort. Now here's 3 examples of that. The first is a young lady by the name of Amanda Hocking. She's an unknown 20-year-old from Minnesota, and she's made well over $2 million publishing stories to Kindle. And by her own admission, like myself, she's not a writer. I'm not a writer. I don't like writing. But if you do like writing, that's fine because you can do well with this. And if you don't like writing like I don't, you can still do well with this, all right? But 20 years old and she's making millions, 20-something years old. As a matter of fact, this system works so well that you've got credible resources and publications like Forbes.com writing up complete articles, right? Here they're talking about how people are literally creating millions publishing to Amazon's Kindle platform. Here's another gentleman by the name of Stephen Levitt. Now, Stephen sells about 2,000 ebooks a day on Amazon's Kindle, right, platform. Now, think about that. Even on the low end, if he priced these at 99 cents, that would still be $2,000 a day. Not too bad, right? $60,000 a month and $750,000 a year. $720,000, almost $750,000 a year right there. Not too bad, not too bad, right? Now, here's another gentleman, John Locke, who became the first person to sell 1 million Kindle ebooks, and he did this in less than 1 year with just 9 titles. And again, this is according to Amazon, a press release that they had put out. So in addition to these folks, there are hundreds, if not thousands, of people that are making thousands and tens of thousands of dollars selling content on Kindle. Now it's your turn, and I'm going to give you a step-by-step on how to do this. You're at ground of what is being called a new age digital diamond mine. Every once in a while, we get an industry that totally creates wealth for people, right? And this is one of those industries. Think about that. Every once in a while, something comes along and creates wealth for those that are ready to jump on, right? Let's take a look at some of the money that I've been able to make just playing around with publishing ebooks before I created a streamlined system for doing it. And I say playing around because this presentation is all about honesty here, and I'm going to share some of my life experiences with you, as I hope you will with me as well. Okay, I say playing around because when I first got started with Kindle publishing, I was literally a wreck, and I mean a wreck by saying I was all over the place. I mean, I had like shiny object syndrome to the 10th degree. I was chasing everything. Every single thing that came across my email I thought looked good, and I tried it, and I just had my hands in too many pots. How many people are like that? How many? and we're going to be honest. This is a totally, like I said, transparent, honest presentation here. All right? We've got the me's that are coming in. Virginia says me. Brandon says me with an exclamation point. I like that right here. One says Dan, Teresa, me, Winona, Helena. We've got some really cool names on this. Tempting says Chris. That's right. Everything looks, Angelique, another awesome name, looks really tempting, right? Everything. And it wasn't until I decided, you know what? I'm going to tell you something here. Write this word down, and that is focus. Well, when I learned how to stop, focus, and execute, things changed for me. All right? When I learned how to stop, focus, and execute, things really changed for me. And that's not part of this presentation. I just wanted to, again, I'm just sharing with you. Yes. All right, Brian, yes. Okay. Deb, good question. No, it doesn't come in a pail, Dan. I wish. So here was one of the first checks I got. It was in the amount of $2,297.30. Right? And at this point, like I said, I'm all over the place. I've got shiny object syndrome. I'm chasing everything. And I didn't really pay attention much when I saw this. Now, mind you, I wasn't seeing much monetarily success, but I still wasn't paying much attention to this. And it wasn't until the next month when I didn't do anything differently, but I still saw an increase in my royalties from Amazon. It went from $2,297.30 to bam, $2,873.13, a 25% increase. Now, I had not done anything differently from the previous month, but I still saw an increase. Why do you think that is? Why do you think that is? And if you get this, then you'll really get the concept of this. And then when I saw this, I said, all right? And I started to notice something. I said, okay, I'm going to publish another book or two. And then the next month, I went from $2,873.13 to bam, $4,462.53, a 55% increase over the last month. At this point, I'm really focused, and I started to put everything else aside because I wasn't really having a lot of success financially with all of the other stuff that I was doing. And I was working really hard at it. And there were so many moving parts, right? Some of this internet marketing stuff can be so overwhelming. But this Amazon Kindle publishing is simple. So it was simplified. I said, let me do this. So then I started testing things like prices and titles and covers. And the next month, I went from $4,462.53 to bam, an 88% increase, $8,403.84. And at this point, I totally left everything alone. Someone was just asking me, how do you know when you find that one thing that you focus on? At this point, I knew that this was the thing that I should focus on. I forgot who was it. Was it Dan or oh, it was Deb. How do you pick that one thing to focus on? So here's the thing. I knew that this was it because it was tied to Amazon, right? I could list my ebooks on Amazon, and Amazon has a built-in traffic stream that would go in and buy my ebooks. So I didn't have to send people to my website or to an affiliate product. Amazon also made it easy. They made it easy for me to sign up. They made it easy for me to list my ebooks. Why would they do that? Why would Amazon make it easier? Is it just that they're just nice folks? Right? It's because they make money when I make money. Right? And then I'm now at the point where I consistently see months over $30,000. Easily. Okay? So now, would you like to have your own diamond mine? After doing this for nearly 5 years, I discovered that fact or fiction, and no matter what the topic, there are a few key things that you must do in order to be successful with this. Right? The first is I discovered how to pick highly sought after topics that sell like crazy. You don't want to publish an ebook if there's no demand, and I'm going to show you how to find out if there's a demand. It just doesn't make sense, right? I want sales. I want the profit. So I'm going to publish things that have a huge demand and that sell like crazy. The other thing is I learned how to price my ebooks so that they generate the most profit. All right, so that they generate the most profit. The other thing is I discovered a secret element to add to your titles that can double, triple, and even quadruple your ebook sales, and I'm going to give you these as well. I also learned how to outsource like a master and get other people to do all of the work for me. All right, so basically systems. I told you before that once I learned how to stop, focus, and execute, all right, things changed for me. And then once I learned how to follow systems and maintain momentum, systems and momentum will be your best friends in anything that you do business-wise. System and in life in general, right? If you have a system for eating healthier or losing weight or working out, and then you maintain a momentum, do you think you'll do better? And the same applies for business. The same applies for online marketing. The same applies for almost anything you do, right? In your relationships, if you have a system for treating your significant or your spouse a certain way, in a way that resonates with them, and then you maintain that momentum throughout your relationship, right? I've been married for 15 years. Do you think that will work in your favor? Okay? Right, so the focus and the systems. Okay, awesome. Now, let me show you how to model what I've learned so that you can get similar results fast, as Tony Robbins talks about modeling. Start writing, because you want to grab your pens, your pencils, a piece of paper, because I'm going to give you a lot of how-to systems, all right? I'm going to use that word a lot because I'm big on things like the E-Myth and the 4-Hour Work Week and anything that talks about putting systems in place. So step one is to use the Google Keyword Planner to find a hot in-demand topic and to come up with a killer title. Easy stuff, as you'll see how all of this is, right? So we'll go over to Google and we'll type in Google Keyword Planner. So if someone can put that into the questions box so everyone else can get it, so you'll go to Google Keyword Planner. Don't do that now because I want you to pay attention. I don't want you to miss anything. But if we can get a volunteer to just type in Google Keyword Planner into the questions box for everyone else. But don't leave this presentation. I want you to watch what I'm doing here on screen. And then when you type that in, you hit search, you should see the first or second result. You'll click that on, and then you'll see a control panel that comes up. And it looks something like this, and Google changes this from time to time, so it may look a little bit different, but for the most part, it functions the same. You're going to hit this area where it says search for new keywords using a phrase, website, or copy, or category, okay, or category. No, Christy, that's totally false. All right, you can use this. We use it every single day. I actually have over 700 students that use this every single day. Okay, you don't need to place an ad to use this, Christy was saying. All right, actually, as a matter of fact, I was on a call at 10 o'clock this morning and showing someone how to use this. All right, so stay with us, Christy. Don't get distracted. All right, now here in this area, this is where you're going to put your idea, your phrase, the topic, right, or the keyword that you're considering publishing an ebook around. All right, so this is where you're going to put that. So in this instance, I put, in this example, dreams interpretation. And then here under targeting, I put all locations. You want to select all locations, all languages, right? Why are we selecting all locations and all languages? Because you sell your ebooks, your ebook globally, right? Absolutely. Correct, Michael. Yes, Jace. Your ebooks are going to sell globally. All right, and then I hit Google and search partners, and then I hit get ideas. Now, once you do that, what's going to happen is, for my main phrase up here, Google is going to say, okay, there's some similar phrases that people are searching for, so they're going to give me the monthly global search volume for my main phrase, as well as the monthly global search volume for similar phrases. All right, does that make sense? Does everyone have that? I want to make sure that everyone gets that before we move on. Like you, I was once at a spot where I would watch presentations and seminars, and sometimes the presenters would just gloss over stuff and assume that everyone knew what was taking place. All right, they didn't account for some people were new, some people were more established, some people were more advanced. Right, I want to make sure everyone gets this stuff. Right, so especially since you're part of Greg's list, I really want to take care of you. So, for example, meaning of dreams, Google says for this phrase there were 18,100 global monthly searches within the last 30 days. Dream meaning 2,900, dreams meaning 2,400, dream meanings 1,900. Dreams and inner meanings 590. Now, when I'm doing research like this, what I found that works best, okay, is that I discovered this a couple of years ago, and this is like dynamite right here. This is gold. You want to write this down. The honey spot is when your combined monthly search volume is between 10,000 to 100,000. Write that down. And if someone could put that into the questions box as well. 10,000 to 100,000. Your combined monthly search volume, you want it to be, when you add everything, your similar phrases to your main phrase that you put here, you should have a combined monthly search volume of 10,000 to 100,000. And the reason why is, if it's less than 10,000 global monthly searches, then the marketplace is just not big enough. And it's just not worth going after. Remember I said, if you're going to do this, you at least want to go after a market that's going to generate you a ton of profit, right? I'd rather go after a market that I can make, 9, 10, 100, I'm sorry, 9, 10, 100, $900 from, or $1,500 a month from, than one where I'm just going to make 200 or 300 bucks a month. Okay? All right, does that make sense? All right, awesome. Now, if it's more than 100,000, then the marketplace is just too big. It's just too big. It's like having a Ferrari on a dead-end street, right? Okay, so great. Now, the other reason that I use this Google Keyword Planner, and I love this thing, is because you can come up with some amazing titles. You can come up with some incredible titles here. So, for example, right, Meaning of Dreams. Like, that would make an awesome title that you can just add on to. Meaning of Dreams, what do your dreams really mean? Or how to decipher your dreams, right? And there's 18,000 people that are searching for this, which is even better because this helps you get ranked higher on Amazon and in Google, and I'm going to show you how that works in just a couple of more slides here, right? So here's another example, Dreams and Inner Meanings. Like this would make an awesome ebook title if you added onto it, Dreams and Inner Meanings, like how to decipher your dreams, okay? So I use this area here to come up with some killer titles, and I also use it to do my market research to make sure that there's a market and that there's a demand out there, right? So one of the things that the questions that I get is, Ty, why do we use the Google Keyword Planner to find titles? Well, the answer is if you craft your titles correctly, you increase the chances of them ranking high within both Amazon and Google search engines. So ranking on both Amazon and Google will dramatically boost your sales. And I want to show you an example of 2 instances of this. So let's say you have an ebook titled How to Market and Sell Your Ebook. And this is listed on Amazon. Right? And you have someone who's searching for material on how to market and sell their ebook. Let's say they just published an ebook and they're trying to get some visibility for it, but they're unaware that there's something on Amazon available for sale, right? They go to Google, they type in how to market and sell your ebook, okay? Let's see. Now, what happens here after they type this in and they hit search? The first listings that they see are these. And what are these here? What are these? Let's see who gets them. I think, Christy, you may know. You talked about these are ads, says Glenn, Christy, Brandon, Dan, Linda. Absolutely. Those are ads, right? So for the most part, what happens? We tend to gloss over those because we know that they're paid ads. Jeff, thank you. Linda. Right, so our eyes will naturally gravitate towards this lower area here, right underneath the ads, and then we see 2 listings. Which one stands out here the most? Number 1 or number 2? Number 1 or number 2? If you were doing a search for how to market and sell your ebook and you were unaware that there was an ebook on Amazon, which one would stand out to you the most? So we've got a lot of answers coming in, a lot of people saying 2, 2, 2, 5-star Amazon. Amazon says Deb, Amazon says Linda. And why does this one stand out? There's a few reasons. Number 1, look at this. This is like the most powerful reason right here, number 1, is it's on the first page of Google. And it's beating out 5 million results. First page, second position. I know we have a few SEO folks that are watching. How powerful is this? Is this powerful or not? Like, would this not cost a lot of money to achieve this? That's why using that Google Keyword Planner and titling your ebooks after titles that pop up there is so powerful. It's so strong. All right? Yes, sir, says Christy. Amazon credibility, says Dan. Trusted, says Deb. 5 stars. So what else about this listing stands out? There's probably about 6 or 7 things that stand out here. We've already established that the Amazon link, right? Credibility. We've already established that the stars. What else do you see here? What else? We have, Michael says it's in stock. Price is listed, says Glenn, $4.99. Amazon appears first, says Christy. The reviews, says Dan, right? We've got 47 5-star reviews, too. What else do we have? We have, this blurb here. Do you see that? So there's a lot that makes this stand out. So that's why 3 chapters, right? That's why this is so powerful. Here's another example. Let's say you have a book listed on Amazon titled How to Earn Passive Income in a Lousy Economy. And you have someone who's searching Google, they're unaware that there's an ebook on Amazon titled How to Earn Passive Income in a Lousy Economy that covers that subject. But they're on Google and they're doing a search. They hit search, what comes up? Not only does the Amazon listing appear in the first page, first position, but it's first page, first, second, and third position. Like, accomplishing this would be very costly because this just drives a ton of sales. A ton of sales. But when you do it in a way that I show you, you get to do this for free because you're combining both of these multi-billion-dollar powerhouses, Amazon and Google, right? And Google just loves Amazon. So if you list your ebook on Amazon the right way, in the way that I'm showing you here, in the way that I show you in the course, then you get these rankings. You get these highly incredible rankings on Google that do nothing but drive sales. Like, this is where 30% of my sales come from. So if I make $30,000 in a month, 10,000 of that has come from me just being able to properly position my ebooks so that they appear in Google in the way that I show you, okay? Now, so write that down. Step one, hopefully you've written that down. Step one was use the Google Keyword Planner to find hot topics and to create titles. Now, I want to talk about titles a little bit more. As a matter of fact, I want to put some time into titles because your titles are your first line of defense. As a matter of fact, you should be writing that down. My title is my first line of defense. The reason why is because when people shop on Amazon, all right, especially women, okay, and there's been studies that show this, and I've tested this over the years, women are more analytical than men, and they buy more off of Amazon than men do. So that's a huge market there. So you want to cater to them, right? When women shop for an ebook or a book on Amazon or anywhere, okay, the first thing that they look at, and women back me up on this one. Christy says, we read more. You might have something there, Christy. I love that. But the first thing that women look at are the titles. They're more analytical. They look at the titles first, and then if the title resonates with them, then they'll go in, they'll look at the cover, and then if the cover works for them, then they'll go in and they'll look at the description. That's how women shop on Amazon. So you want to put a lot of emphasis into the title. Okay, Teresa says that's true. Well said, says Linda. All right, awesome. Now, guys, on the other hand, we tend to pay attention to the outside, right, which gets us into trouble a lot. So guys, we pay attention to the covers first. And then we'll look at the title, and then we'll look at the description. And that just gets us into it. Yeah. Cindy says just put a football on it, right? Right? So, and Deb says, I hate titles that make no sense. It has to resonate. It makes sense. Absolutely. Thank you for chiming in there, Deb. That makes total sense. So this is why I'm going to spend some time on the titles. Are you folks okay with that? Are you okay with me showing you how to really craft some awesome titles? Because this is going to drive your ebook sales like crazy if you get the titles right. So one of the things that I discovered are what I call my title enhancers. And these are elements that I add to my titles that double and triple sales. And after months of testing, I found that simply adding these elements to my titles can dramatically increase my sales. Right? So now, title enhancers are elements that answer the questions that your ebook buyers are asking themselves in their head. And I'm going to give you a couple of examples. You may want to write these down here. Okay, so let's do this. Right? So here's an example of a title enhancer, how to. Right? Let's say you have an ebook titled How to Stain Your Deck Like a Professional versus one titled Learn to Stain Your Deck. Now, Deb, this is probably what you were talking about. It's a pretty bland title, right? Unfortunately, when most people go to publish Kindle books, they don't put a lot of effort into their titles, and I just don't understand that. Right? But that's because they don't know the stuff that you folks know now. Right? They don't know a tenth of what you know just by getting it off of this presentation. So you've got two ebooks, how to stain your deck like a professional, and then learn to stain your deck. As a matter of fact, let me give you an illustration as to why this works so well and why title enhancers answer the questions that your ebook buyers are asking themselves in their head. Let's say you have a gentleman by the name of Johnny, and Johnny has been promising his wife for the last 6 months that he's going to go in and stain the deck. Okay? He's going to go in and stain the deck. And he goes, it's a 75, 80 degrees out one day, and Johnny's wife says, Johnny, you know, it's a beautiful day. Either you're going to go out and stain that deck today, or you're sleeping on the couch for the next month. Johnny's panicking now. All right, he's never stained the deck, but he knows that he can probably find a book on how to do it. So he picks up his Kindle device, where he visits Amazon, and he types in stain a deck, how to stain a deck. He comes across 2 titles, How to Stain Your Deck Like a Professional and Learn to Stain Your Deck. Which one, as he's asking himself, how am I going to stain this deck, how am I going to stain this deck, how am I going to stain this deck, which one do you think stands out to him the most? And which one do you think he's probably going to purchase? How to Stain Your Deck Like a Professional with the title enhancer, or Learn to Stain Your Deck? Put number 1 into the questions box if you think it's this one. Put number 2 into the questions box if you think it's Learn to Stain Your Deck. And let's see what the audience is, how they're voting, right? What was the old TV show that used to say, you know, vote with a 1 or vote with a 2? Was it American Idol? I think. So we've got number 1, says Deb. Christy says 1. Angelique says 1. Brendan. Angelique White. I wonder if that's the Angelique that I had met in Atlanta at the Castro Factory seminar. Name sounds familiar. Brendan says 1. Teresa says 1. Glenn Payton says 2. Linda Spector says 1. Bill says Bill Carr 1. 2 says Charles. Luce Marie says 1. Angelique White, yes. Oh, hi Ty. Hi, how are you, lady? There you go. I thought your name sounded familiar. Jacqueline Grant says 1. Awesome. So yeah, you got it. So number 1, right, is going to resonate with people the most because it's answering that question. Now here's some more examples of title enhancers. Write these down as well because you can use these things. Quickest way to. 21 quickest ways to make money online versus something like the Guide to Making Money on the Web, which is boring. Then you have another example. Fastest way to. The fastest way to get your nursing degree versus Health Quad's nursing guide. Right? And then we have easy ways to. Quick and easy ways to lose weight. Tips to. Rewards best kept tips to losing weight. You know, the reason why these things work so well is because, think about it, we always want the answer on how to do something. We want a quick way to do it, not a slow way to do it. We want the fastest ways to do it. Again, not the slow ways. It's similar to the quickest, right? Easy ways to do something. And then we want tips on doing things. That's why there's so many awesome recipe books that are out there, because you've got 21 tips to cook, you know, crock pot meals and things like that, right? Or easy ways to cook. Think about it. Like, if you look at some of the recipe books that are out there, a lot of them use this formula. You've got books that are out there by Home and Garden and just a lot of bestsellers that have sold for decades because they use this formula. Right? So why not? If they can make millions and tens of millions, why not you with this formula? So why not you use it as well? Right? So now, let me show you another example of how you can use your title enhancer as well as your main keyword that you're thinking about publishing your ebook or your title around, right? So let's say we go back to our Google Keyword Planner and we have the title enhancer how to, and then we're thinking about publishing an ebook on gardening, right? We mash these up. We put our title enhancer and our topic together. We hit search and Google says for the phrase how to garden, there were 45.5 million global monthly searches conducted within the last 30 days. Now, 45.5 million, let me ask you a question. Does that fit within our desired search criteria, yes or no? Yes or no? No, says Angelique. No, says Brendan. No, says Glenn. Bill, no. That's too many, says Christy. Absolutely. We want to be between what? What do we want to be? Smart group. I love it. I love it. I love it. Listen, the quickest way to get somewhere is surround yourself with people that are smarter than you. That's why I'm here listening to you and interacting with you. We want to be between 10,000 to 100,000. Angelique, Christy, Deb, Charles, you got it. Right, Bill, Brandon, everyone has this. This is awesome. Right? And they're flying in. And if I don't call out your names, just because we've got so many people on here, it's kind of hard to see the answers coming in as you're scrolling up and down the questions box. But luckily for us, because this is too big, Google also says there's similar phrases here that people are searching for. And we pay attention to these. So the phrase, how to make a garden, 201,000 individuals searched for that phrase within the last 30 days. globally. We're paying attention to the global column because we're selling our ebooks worldwide, right? That's too big. How to design a garden, 550,000 people. That's also too big. How to build a raised garden bed, 12,100. How to plant a garden, 301,000. Now, out of these 4 suggestions, which one would make the best ebook? 1, 2, 3, or 4? Put a 1, a 2, a 3, or a 4. And I actually should have kept this one to myself because this one is it's a home run. So let's see. What are you saying? I want to make sure that you get this. So 3, 3, 3. The 3s are flying in. Christy, Angelique, Linda, Brendan, Andrew, Bill, Marvin, Ty, Charles, Weston, Helena. All right, awesome. The 3s, right? Teresa. Now, the reason why this works so well is because, number 1, it has our title enhancer, right? Number 2, it's within our desired search criteria of 10,000 to 100,000. Number 3, look at this. It's very specific. It's extremely niched, right? How to build a raised garden bed. It's not just how to build a garden bed, but a raised garden bed. Does everyone see that? Now, the 4th reason why this one makes a great Amazon title is because the title itself, like this would just make an awesome book title. How to build a raised garden bed. And then we can add on to it. So what would you add on to this? Give me some ideas here. So just to give you an example, how to build a raised garden bed in a weekend, right? Give me some ideas. I want to make sure that you guys got this. How would you add on to this? How to build a raised garden bed the quickest, right? What else? How to build a raised garden bed, says, without breaking your back, says Christy. I like that. How to build a raised garden bed quickly, says Teresa. Oh, I like that one, Linda. How to build a raised garden bed even if you can't lift a hammer. Marty says how to build a raised garden bed. We can get geographical with it, right? In New England. Or as Bill says, how to build a raised garden bed like a pro. All right. Dan says how to build a raised garden bed for your own tomatoes. Quick and easy, says Angelique. Absolutely. So here, you can also, something like how to build a raised garden bed that your neighbors will envy, right? How about if we take it there? Or how to build a raised garden bed in a weekend with low cost, says Charles. So there's so much that you can do with this. That's why I love this Google keyword tool, because they give you the market and then they also give you some awesome titles that you can just literally cherry pick, right? For less than $10, says Linda. I like that. And 5 simple steps, says Brendan. There you go. Right? So you got it. You folks have it. Smart group. So the first step was to do the market research, right? Find out if there's a market. And if there's not, then we don't want to deal with it. We move on to the next subject. It's easy. There's millions of them that are out there. Step 2 is create the content, right? Create the content. In my preferred order, there are 3 very simple ways to get content to sell. I've used all 3 of these, and all are very easy to do, even if you're a newbie to all of this. The first is you can get someone else to write it for you. Now, this is an option that I use a lot, and I've paid as little as $100 to $125 to have people write content for me. You actually get to own all of the rights to it, and you can resell it as long and as often as you want. You can even put your name on it or use the content with a pen name. This program gives you the only 3 sites that you should use when looking to have someone write your content. Plus, I give you the exact wording to use, okay? The second option is you can speak it, then have it transcribed. There's speech recognition software like Dragon, Naturally Speaking, or there's one on your PC or on your Macintosh that you can use for free. As a matter of fact, Google also has a speech recognition program. If you go into Google Docs, right, you can use that free program that they have there and just speak it and then have it transcribed. The third option is you can write it yourself. This is not my favorite, right? I've got a friend of mine, Vondre, who can write an ebook in like 3 days. My wife can write one in like 2 days, right? Not my favorite, but if you're a writer, this would be the perfect option for you. So you can do this, like Kindle publishing, you can do this if you're a writer or if you're not someone who likes writing, right? Doesn't matter. All that matters is that you get the content created. All that matters is that you get the content created. Okay, does that make sense? All right, Teresa says this is awesome. Thank you, Teresa. You just made my day right there. All right, so now let's move on, okay? How many people want a little, let's go into outsourcing, right? Because I know that most of my students, there's probably a few writers. Let's take a quick poll. How many people are writers? If you're a writer, put number 1. If you want to outsource, put number 2. All right, and I'll talk about both. So number one, or if you're a writer, if you want to outsource, put number two. Okay, perfect. All right, awesome. So and I have some folks that like to write, as Deb just said. Deb says she's a writer, but she would rather outsource, right? Okay, remember systems, right? Systems are going to be your best friend, right? Your systems and your momentum. And when you have someone else write it for you, that helps you to maintain that momentum, right? Because you're not doing it and you're not distracted. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense, okay? And you're able to maintain that focus and you're able to execute. So now, when it comes to outsourcing, pay attention to this. I'm going to go kind of slow here because I want you to get everything here. There's a lot when it comes to outsourcing that I want to share with you. I want to just give you everything, right? I've been so blessed with this that I feel that I have like an obligation to really make sure that anyone I teach this to is successful, because I've done so freaking well with this. Not just monetarily, like, well, money-wise, I've made a ton of money with it, and that's fine, that's cool. I don't need the money. I'll take the money, though. I'm not stupid. But just the lifestyle changes that I've had, right, as a result of publishing to Amazon. So I feel that in order to maintain that good karma, I need to give as many people as possible the same in return. All right. So if I go off track on this, just forgive me. It's just that I'm excited by just being able to share stuff with people that are going to take it and listen and apply and execute. Right. And that's what I get from this group. So I feel like you folks are all executors here. All right. So now when you're outsourcing, your language is extremely important. You want to set the expectation, and by that I mean you tell them exactly what you want so that it's totally clear. And it's easy to do. So I tell them that I don't say I want an ebook written. I say I want a report or a story written. Why is that? Because if I use the word ebook has a higher perceived value, right? And they want to tend to charge you a little bit more. But I found that if you use the word story or report, right, then that expectation of being paid more is not there. Now, the way I set my listing up is at the very beginning I say, I'm looking to hire someone in the US, the UK, Australia, Canada, South Africa, Jamaica, or Puerto Rico to write a 10-page report on the topic of natural hair for women, or on the topic of how to buy a car, or on the topic of how to invest, right, or how to save for retirement, right? Or I'm looking for someone to write a 10-page story, because you can use this for fact and fiction. I publish both fact and fiction. I'm looking to hire someone to write a 40-page story on the topic of romance, or a 40-page romance novel on the topic of, boy meets girl, or whatever it may be, right? So that's how you do that. Okay, now the next thing is I tell them exactly what I want. So I tell them the number of pages and what we're publishing here, right? These ebooks are not long. They're 30 to 40 pages. As a matter of fact, Amazon has done research over the years where they found that short bits of information sell best, because people can go in and consume this stuff. They can read it while they're on their lunch break, or while they're waiting for the bus or the train or the plane, or while they're at their kids' soccer or basketball or football practice, right? So I tell them how many pages, and I tell them what font size. So 10 to 12-point fonts. Line spacing, I say no double spacing. Font type, Times New Roman. And then margins, no more than half-inch margins all the way around. Top, bottom, left, right. Hopefully everyone has written that down. Okay? So now, move on here. The next thing I do is, all right, at the very beginning, I tell them that the story or the report must include a 1 to 2 paragraph summary of what it is about, as well as 12 to 15 bullet points of what is covered. Why do I ask them to do this? Why do I say, I need you to also include a 1 to 2 paragraph summary of what this report or this story is about, as well as 12 to 15 bullet points? Why do I do that? Let's see who gets it. Simple stuff. Yes, Linda, for the description. Jeff, yes. That's the ad on Amazon. For the blurb online, says Christy. Yes. right? It doubles as a description, says Teresa. Amazon description, says Brandon. Absolutely. Absolutely. You got it. So super simple stuff, right? Super simple stuff. Another thing is once I learned to stop overcomplicating things, things got a lot easier. Once I learned, I'm going to say that again because it's super simple, but it accounts for a lot. Once I learned to stop overcomplicating things, how am I going to do this? Or, I have to make this 100% right. How many people are guilty of that? Trying to make things 100% right, and then a week passes, a month passes, a year passes, and you're still in the same position. The beautiful thing about online marketing is you can always go in and put it out there and come back and revise it because it's digital. It's not like print. Once you print it, you're screwed, right? So get it out there. Stop procrastinating. Now, the other thing I tell them is that the finished report must be a Word doc. Okay, well, it must be a Word doc. I also say we will own all of the rights to the completed work once you're fully paid. I also say we will actually need several of these, including one on, and then I'll give them whatever the next subject might be that I'm considering publishing an ebook on. So if the quality of your work is great and your prices and turnaround time are fair, we will hire you for X number of additional projects. Now, the reason why I do this is because, again, outsourcers, they love doing what they're doing. Think about it. They love writing, and they're getting paid to write. A lot of these folks they're people that just are passionate about writing, and they would do it for free. But it's a really good win-win situation for them because they're getting paid to do something that they love. And the other thing is they want to work with the same person over and over and over again if they can. So this blurb being added in helps them to notice that you're someone that's looking to work with the same person as well. And then at the bottom I'll say, please state how quickly you can get this done. And then I'll let them know that there's ongoing work. All right, so do you want to see, actually, you know what, let me do this. How about if I log into one of my accounts? Oh my gosh, what a procrastinator I can be, says Deb. Right, I do that here, me. How about, someone says, what version of Word do you specify? No version of Word, any version of Word, Dean. It just has to be in a Word doc format. All of them work together. So it doesn't see, that's what I mean. It's just super simple. Just Word. I don't tell, if you notice, right, I didn't say, I don't want to overcomplicate it. That's what I was talking about, right? I just tell them that I want it in Microsoft Word. We're not going to say Word 2.0 and just get really complicated with it. Simple. Simple turns into sense, right? So now, how about I log into one of my outsourcing accounts and show you folks how I do this live. Do you want to see that, or do you want me to just continue with the presentation? If you want me to just continue with the presentation, I can do that. That's fine also. So let's see. I'll let you decide. Let's see what comes. Just put it, your questions. Great. Yes. Let's see. Show, please. Yes. Yes. Show. Continue. Let's see. Let's see. Yes. Show me everything, says Dan. All right. Let's do it then. Let's do it really quickly. I'm going to do that. So I'm going to jump out of this. Okay. And then let me go into this app right here, Simply Noise. This is awesome. I love this thing right here. It helps you to maintain focus, right? You just turn it up. I don't know if you can hear it, but you turn it up and it just emits it's a white noise emitter that helps you to maintain focus. And you have that on sometimes and you could just get like a ton of stuff done. I'm going to actually log into both of my accounts. Here's Guru. This is a site that I use to find some awesome writers, and the other one that I use is Upwork. As you notice, like, I outsource a lot of stuff. I mean, it's just awesome just to be able to outsource stuff. Some small, really small projects where I'm paying, just a couple of bucks, and then some might be bigger projects. But look, so here, I'll list both fact and fiction because I'm selling both fact and fiction on Amazon. You can sell just fact if you want. You can sell just fiction. You can sell both if you want. So I've got a listing here, 25-page day trading report needed, 25-page personal development report needed, 25-page mystery thriller story needed, romance story. Let's go into Google here. Same thing, right? So now let me go in and let me click on one of these, right? So you can see how I actually set it up, and then you can see how people are bidding on these things also, right? So you see some of the bids that you get in, right, are going to be ridiculous. $625. That person is not going to get hired, right? But then you have some that are more reasonable, 150, 50, 50, 80, right? Does that make sense? So when you list these things, I talk about this in the program, how long you should keep them listed and things like that as well. Here's an example of the posting. And just as I showed you just now in my PowerPoint, I'll tell them at the very beginning, looking to hire someone in the US, the UK, Australia. Why do I specify these countries here? Right? Put it into the questions box. And then I'll say, yes, these are my job postings, Dan. Actually, Teresa, Fiverr, I would stay away from. I'm glad you brought that up. Here's the thing. Teresa, when you're looking to hire someone to write for you, stay away from Fiverr. Stay away from countries like the Philippines. Stay away from countries like India. Great countries to visit, right? But you don't want them writing your content because you want your content to be high quality. Think about this. If you get to the point where you're making, $2,000, $3,000, $5,000 a month doing this, would you do anything to put this in jeopardy? Not at all, right? Not at all, Teresa says. So you want quality material. I'm at the point where I'm doing $30,000+ a month. I would never want to hire someone who's not going to be from one of these native English-speaking countries or countries that primarily speak English. Okay, as a lot of you said earlier. All right, so that's the reason why I state these countries here. And then I'll tell them I need this done ASAP. And then sometimes I'll give them a reference point. And I'll say, listen, I'm looking for content similar to what you might find in a book like this one. So for this one, I'm asking them to write a romance novel, I think it was, and then I'll give them, an example of a book that I want to model or something like that, right? Here you can see one on Amazon. And then I'm specific about making sure that they model it but not plagiarize. So I put a blurb in here that says I'm only looking for unique content, right? Meaning nothing that you turn in should be plagiarized or stolen from other sources, especially the book that we include above as reference. That link is only for your reference and to give you an idea of what we're looking for. We will check. Now, here's the other thing. Although I put this in here, I've hired dozens of outsourcers over the years and I've never had a problem with anyone plagiarizing. All right, so don't think about that. That does not happen at all. Then I tell them again the length that I need, no fluff, no filler. And then I give them some specifics, right? So do you see how that is? Super easy stuff. Super, super easy, right? How do you qualify your writers, Clarence? Good question. So, just like Amazon, right? You'll see the star rating on a lot of these sites. So you'll see where writers actually have, 4 or 5 stars. And I look for people that have experience. And that are within my budget. That's it. Everything is totally up to you. That's why I love this, because it's so easy. Like, it's up to you. You get to hire who you want, and it's super easy. All right, so now, let's continue here. So, one of the things that I do is when I list my project, I set a budget of $200. I never pay $200 for an ebook. As a matter of fact, I never pay more than like $130, $140. I just put $200 in here so that it attracts more outsourcers. But during the vetting process, all right, I'll respond back to them. I'll send them a message once I find a person that I want to use, and in that message it'll say, listen, I'll hire you right now if you can do this job for, $125 or $130 or whatever you're comfortable with paying. Okay, does that make sense? Yes, Angelique, they're both free resources, Guru and Upwork. Great question. All right, both of them are free resources. All right. Now, this is easy stuff as long as you go and execute on it. Listen, most people fail because they just don't execute. Think about it. Anytime you have not had success on something, what was the #1 reason? It usually was because you didn't execute, right? Like, I'm a big believer in taking personal responsibility. I know that every time Ty, did not execute on something that I said that I was going to do, it was almost impossible for me to have the success. Unless some little fairy came in, right, sprinkling pixie dust and magically made it happen. Other than that, it's not going to happen. So those things that I gave you, right, the systems, having systems like this entire system that I've given you. If you notice, it's step 1, it's step 2, right, it's step 3. And then getting started on something and maintaining that momentum. And part of maintaining the momentum is executing. All right? So, and I want you to ask your questions. I'm going to answer every single question. Every single question will get answered. Now, the third step is, and this is the last step is, and this literally takes about 5 to 10 minutes to both create your Kindle Publishers account as well as add ebooks to it, because Amazon has made it that easy. Let me ask you a question. When Amazon first started many years ago, what was their number one goal? Who remembers what was their number one goal in life? Let's see, who gets it first? When Amazon first got started, what was their primary purpose? I'm talking about years ago. I think they started in 2003 or something like that. To sell books. Book selling. What else? What else? Keep it going. Something a little bit more. It's book related, but bigger than that. To be the sales guru, says Christy. Almost. You're getting there. Largest bookstore in the world, says Linda. That's it exactly. When Amazon got started way back when, that was their primary goal, to be the largest bookstore in the world, right? To be the number one bookseller, okay? To collect the most credit card numbers on file, says David. They're almost there. I mean, between Amazon and Apple, they have almost a billion credit card numbers on file. David, I'm glad you brought that up. Because that's another reason why this process is so simple, because your audience, they don't have to go in and enter their credit card numbers in. Amazon has it on file already. And they've created this culture where you click a button one time and you've purchased the item. We're conditioned to that. Okay? So yes, Joy, to become the largest bookstore in the world, right? And they knew that at the time that they started, that was almost impossible for them. They knew that it was going to be impossible for them to become the world's largest bookstore, because they had competitors out there. Who were some of their competitors? Barnes & Nobles, right? Who else? Who else? And I know we've got a very international group here. Books A Millions. We've got Waterstone, right, over there in the UK. When I was out there in London, I saw, is it Waterstone or Waterhouse? I forget what it is. W.H. Smith's, right? Linda, thank you. B. Dalton. Wow, I forgot about that one, Brendan. B. Dalton. I haven't heard that one in a while. Walden's, says Christy. So they knew that with all of these competitors out there, they had to do something big. And what they did was, which I think was brilliant, because they totally changed the landscape, they created the Kindle Direct Publishing platform. And they said, we're going to let Christy, anyone who wants to take content and publish it on our platform, we're going to let them publish ebooks on our platform. So that means Christy, Brendan, Linda, Teresa, Angelique, Joy, David, Teresa, Bill, all right, Ian, Linda, Jeff, Clarence, my girl Angelique again. Any of you that have content, we're going to allow you to come in and publish your content on our platform. And instantly, almost overnight, that made them the world's largest bookstore, because now they had more of a variety of content than anyone else. And it's all digital, so they don't have to store it, right? So that's why this thing works so amazingly well. They let people who are in any country. I have students literally that are in Russia, France, Japan, Germany, Australia, China, Canada. And the third step is, you literally go in and you create your account for free. Why do they not charge you to create an account? Because they want your content, right? You create that account and you publish your book, and then your book is now ready to make you money on Amazon, as you can see here. Right? Super simple. Yeah, if Boris Pasternak could see it now, Christy. You're right. How many ebooks do you need to be successful at this, right? To change your life. So using the system that I've created, where you do the research, the titles, the descriptions, the price points, and the outsourcing, right? And it all turns into big money. You can average about $500 a month in sales per ebook with this. system, using it in a way that I share with you, all right, in this program, where I talk about how to structure your research, how to structure your titles, how to structure your descriptions, the proper price points that you should be using, because there's some price points that don't do as well as others. I've tested nearly 67 price points over the last couple of years, and there's just a handful of them that really helps your books to sell, all right? Imagine having 5, 10, or even 20 books all bringing in $500 a month. Where you do the work once, your ebook sell for months and years to come. It's like residual income that pays you over and over and over again. So what makes this different is that it grows month after month. Amazon does not charge you to set up an account. You publish a book once and it sells for years. Okay? It sells for years. You can do this literally from anywhere on the planet, which is the beautiful thing, right? Because as we're traveling, my family and I, we like to travel a lot. We just got back from spending 2 weeks out in Thailand, and I'm publishing ebooks while I'm out there. I can just take my laptop and while I'm at the pool or while I'm on the beach, right? We flew into China from New Jersey, and then from China we flew into Bangkok, and then from Bangkok we spent a few days there. Then we went to Chiang Mai. We spent a few days there at a resort, and then we went to the beach, Phuket. And the whole time I'm logging into my Amazon account, and my ebooks are selling, right? There's a 12-hour difference there versus here in the East Coast, and people are still selling my books. That's the other thing. Once you start doing this, you're gonna actually have to get some help. And when I say help, I mean you're gonna get addicted to checking your sales, because your ebooks are going to sell 24 hours a day, because just because it's nighttime where you're at doesn't mean it's not nighttime for someone else. It may be daytime for someone else, and they're up buying ebooks. All right, so I would literally like get up 3, 4 o'clock in the morning sometimes just to run in and check my ebook sales, and I'm like, yes, another ebook sold, yes. Like I couldn't believe that as I'm sleeping, like, yes, I'll cover price points too, Chrissy, at the end of this. The biggest thing here is seeing that, man, while you're on the beach, or while you're playing with your kids, or while you're on a field trip with your kids, or while you're hanging out with your spouse, or while you're sleeping, sales are still coming in. Not at all, Clarence. Margie, that's easy. Okay? Now, as you saw, this thing continues to grow. Okay? $2,297, and then $2,800, and then $4,400, and then $8,400, and now I'm at the point where every month it's over $30,000. Okay? It continues to grow. How much money do you need to make a difference in your life? And we've been honest with each other this entire presentation, right? I'm curious, what do you need to make a difference in your life? Is it an extra $500 a month, an extra $1,000, $2,000? Can you put that into the questions box? Because I'm always curious as to what it is. And I'm not going to call out names. We'll keep that private. I'm just curious as to what it is for everyone. What do you need to make a difference in your life? I see 2,000, 5,000, 10,000, 2,500. I'm going to take a sip of water while you add that in. Okay, I'm just taking a sip of water. I'll be right back here. I see an extra 22. Someone got really specific. $22,250. 2,500 to quit day job. I like that. 7,500, 1,000, 3K a month, 500. That's very doable with this. 5,000, 3,000 a month, 5,000. I only need another 1,000 to retire and keep scaling. That's smart. Exactly. And that's what you do. I'm glad that you put that in there. I'm not going to call out your name, but here's the thing. When you start to make money like this, right, put it back into the system, because it grows, it grows, it grows. Take some out, spend it, reinvest, right? So how could something like this change your life? What would you do with the extra income? Put it towards your kids' future. We have two teenagers that just graduated that are both heading off to college this year. And luckily for me, I've been part of this Amazon publishing system over the years that their college tuition is paid for. Right? Who paid for it? Amazon. Use it to pay off your mortgage. Our mortgage is almost paid for. Amazon, thanks to Amazon. Use it to buy a house, buy your dream car, right? A couple of Christmases ago, I had a new Mercedes delivered to the house for my wife with a red bow on it. Amazon bought that car. It was her dream car, right? Pay off bills, get out of debt, right? We have no debt at all other than our mortgage. Travel the globe. As I said, we're always traveling. London, Thailand, with the Caribbean. We're going out to St. Martin for 10 days next month. Amazon helps to pay for that. Donate to charities, right? One of my goals was to be able to write a $25,000 check to the National Sickle Cell Anemia Association, and I've been able to do that, right? Thanks to Amazon. So the possibilities are endless. What would you do with some of this, right? Don't just blow it on foolishness. Just put it towards to things that really, really matter, right? The memories last forever. The trinkets break and are soon forgotten, Jim Rohn says, right? So let me ask you a question. This past hour, would you agree it's been time well spent? Can you just give me a yes or no in there? Would you agree that it's been time well spent? And we're still going to answer a lot of questions. I got a lot that I want to cover. All right? Yes, yes, sir, says Angelique. Absolutely yes. Hell yeah. Clarence, thank you. Yes with the exclamation points. The yeses are flying in. All right? Yes twice, says Dan. Dan, I almost read your name as Dan Marino, I was about to say. All right, it's close though, right? Obviously, we can't cover everything you need in a 90-minute presentation. So I've created a special offer so you can get everything you need to know. And for those serious about doing this, I have something special. So is it okay if I help you and I share? Now here, old habits die hard. One of the things that I always say is old habits die hard, and that is we go to conferences, we go to seminars, we watch webinars, presentations like this. We get excited. We see the possibilities, right? We want to execute, but what happens? After the seminar, after the presentation, after the webinar, life takes over again. And we fall back into our normal routine of, I think Napoleon Hill calls it drifting, right? Where we go back into our everyday routine. So what I've done is to prevent that. I want you to get results. I've created the Kindle Cashflow 2.0 program. Now, this is not my $20,000 program where people pay me $20,000 to put this into effect for them, plus 10% up to $100,000 of their royalties. This is an online home study course that you get instant access to. You'll get it within the next couple of minutes, actually. And you get to look over my shoulder and see how I put all of this stuff into place. You get to see what I do, why I did it, and then the results that I get as well, right? So I had two choices when putting this thing together. And the first option was to go as cheap as possible and try to sell as many as possible, which wouldn't incentivize me to really stack the value on for you. And then the next option that I had was to, and this one is one that requires a little higher investment, but in exchange I'm able to devote more resources to guarantee your success. Listen, about 18 months ago, right? Having capital, having money and freedom like this gives you options. It gives you options, right? That's one of the good things about having a little bit of extra money is it gives you options. And 18 months ago, I decided that I'm only going to work when I want to work. I'm only going to work with who I want to work with, and only on projects that I want to work on. Right? I made that decision 18 months ago, and it was one of the best decisions of my life. So I say that to say that I only want to work with really serious people here. And I've been given so much with this that I'm going to give you my all as I give to all of my students. And I'm going to show you some of my students in a bit as well. Here's one of my students, as a matter of fact. This is a gentleman by the name of Darren DeVry. He's over in Perth, Australia. He's 66 years old. And he sent me this email one day, and he says, Ty, this has been my best month so far, with 258 sales to date with only 3 titles. I'm very happy with the progress considering my circumstances. He went through like bankruptcy and recession in Australia. And I just wanted to say thank you again. I could see the end of a tunnel. I asked him if I could use this to motivate and inspire people. I said, Darren, can I use your testimonial? I think you for sending that over and sharing that to me. He said, yeah. The next day he sent me an email saying, yes, and by the way, I'm now up to 336 sales as we speak. I'm happy with that. I was hoping for 200 sales this month. So I'm really happy. Now think about it. If he's pricing his ebooks at $10 each, that's $2,000 in a month, right? So I'm going to try for 1,000 sales, $10,000 a month, starting next month. Thank you, Ty, Darren DeVry. He then, a few months later, just a few months later, we were on Skype, as I like to talk to a lot of my students on Skype and in our Facebook group. We actually have a private Facebook group that you're going to be a part of in just a few minutes also. I'm going to show you how you can get access to that. He sent me this message on Skype. He says, Ty, over the last year, I've continued to follow the Kindle cash flow system, and I'm now doing $22,000 to be exact, $22,000 per month in sales. 66 years old. He's in Perth, Australia. He's had some hardships, and he is kicking butt right now, all right? Because he's executing. He's following the system. It's that simple. Amazon wants you to do well because, as we determined earlier, right, they do well. When you do well, they do well. When your books sell, they make money as well. They only keep 30%. You keep 70%. Now, I'm going to give you a couple of bonuses as well. The first bonus is, remember I showed you earlier how to get your ebooks listed on Google, and I talked about how that accounts for 30% of my sales. So if I make $30,000, 10,000 of that comes from what you see right here. So I'm going to give you this bonus. This is a mini course. It's called the Google Kindle Crunch, and this shows you how to get your ebook listed in Google and how to increase your sales big time. Right? This is a $1,997 value. It's an entire mini course. Right? And this is going to be for the first 30 people only because we've got a ton of people on this webinar. I don't want to give it away to everyone, but I am going to reward those that execute and take action quickly. You're going to get that bonus. And I've got some even better bonuses coming up. Take a look at this. Right? They get better. Bonus number 2 is called the Money Multiplicity bonus. And this is another mini course where, in addition to the big course that I just shared with you, I'm going to show you how to publish the same content that you'll be publishing to Amazon's Kindle Direct Publishing platform and publish it to the Barnes & Noble's Nook Press platform as well as the Apple iBookstore. So you can triple your exposure. It's all about profit, right? If you have that content, you're selling it on Amazon, I'd also make it available on the Barnes & Noble's platform and the Apple platform. And in this mini course, I show you how to do that. And this bonus is for the first 20 people. So the first 20 people are going to get this bonus and this bonus. You're going to get both. Now I have 2 more even bigger bonuses. This one right here is for the first 15 people. First 15 people are going to get this one as well as the other 2 that I just spoke about. And this is your own virtual assistant. You're going to get access to a live person that can help you with researching your topics, coming up with title ideas, writing out descriptions, communicating with your writer, or anything else that you can think of, including working on some of your other businesses. Right? I said that if I ever put a program together, I want to do it so that, number one, people get results and it's something that's real and that people can actually show something from, meaning once you apply it, you actually see results. Right? That's been one of my biggest accomplishments. Way over making millions of dollars. That's my biggest accomplishment has been able to put something together that people can follow and get results. It tickles me to death like crazy when people come back, 2 months later and they say, Ty, I'm making $2,000, I'm making $5,000 a month now. That is what it's about. So I said, let me do something that's going to help you get there quicker, and that is to give you your own virtual assistant. Now I do have to limit this because I'm actually paying for this. A portion of this comes out of my own pocket, right? So that's why it has to be for just the first 15, because you get this person for 40 hours. Now, what you're going to get in this entire big package, along with the bonuses, is you're going to get the setup module, which is a $997 value. This covers how to set up your account, how to get started quickly, what not to do so you don't get banned. You'll get the Kindling for Profits module, which is a $1,497 value. This covers finding the right niche in readers, niches that sell, and readers that buy. Because as we determined earlier, it doesn't make sense to publish an ebook, right? Unless the marketplace is there. And we want to go after marketplaces that are going to make us money. Okay? You'll also get the Buyer Magnet module, which is a $2,997 value. And this one covers the critical must-have elements that will make your ebook sell, We're talking about things like the covers, your price points, your descriptions, your reviews. And I go into it in detail, right? We're limited in time here, but in the program and in these modules, I go into it in detail. You'll also get the KDP Cash Extraction module, which is a $3,500 value. And this covers the secret ways to use the Kindle Direct Publishing platform to make more money than most people ever will. Right? You'll also get the bonuses that I spoke about. Bonus number 1, the Google Kindle Crunch. Bonus number 2, the Money Multiplicity. And bonus number 3, your own virtual assistant for 40 hours if you're one of the first 15. The total value of everything is $12,585. Now, I'm going to give you the URL in the questions box in just a second, but I want to ask you, if all this did was finally allow you to generate a consistent, hands-free passive income every month, would it be worth it? And we've been really transparent and honest and communicated with each other here. Put a yes into the questions box if this would be worth it, if all it did was to give you a consistent, hands-free passive income stream every month. All right? Put a yes into the questions box if all this did was to give you a kick in the butt to finally get you moving, executing, and making money. Would it be worth it? This is the thing that did it for me. This is the thing that took me from not being able to travel the globe to being able to travel the globe. Not being able to this is the thing that took me from being in debt to being able to pay off my debts. Right? If all this did was give you 2 or 3 ebooks that each brought in $500 per month to pay a bill or to save, would it be worth it? Put a yes in the questions box. And if you got to the point where, like my student Darren DeVry, you're making $20,000 a month, would it make sense to pay $5,000 for something like this? Then every sale after that month would be pure profit, right? Right? So you can see why it's a good deal at $5,000. And usually I sell this for $2,000 for the general public, but because you're at this event and you're part of Greg's group, you can get started now for $997 or $549 now, and one additional $549 payment in 30 days. Now I'm going to continue to share some other stuff with you. I have some more things I want to teach you, and I want to answer all of the questions. There's a ton of great questions that are coming in, but in the meantime, and like I said, we're going to cover every single question. Let me put this URL into the questions box so that you have it. And what I want you to do is, because the bonuses are limited, put I'm in once you place your order, because I need to know who came first, who came second, who came third. So once you put your order in, put I'm in so I know what position you are in, what bonuses you'll get. So again, what you're going to get with this program is you'll get the setup, which is a $997 value, which covers your account, how to get started quickly, what not to do so that you don't get banned. You'll get Kindling for Profits, which is a $1,497 value. This one covers finding the right niche and readers, niches that sell, and readers that buy. You'll also get the Biomagnet module, which covers the critical must-have elements that will make your ebook sell. We could talk about covers, pricing, descriptions, reviews. You'll also get the KDP Cash Extraction module, which is a $3,500 value. And this covers the secret ways to use the Kindle Direct Publishing platform to make more money than most people ever will, simply because they don't know a tenth of what I've shared with you just during this presentation. Imagine what you get in the program. You'll also get all of the bonuses, right? If you're one of the first 15, that's why it's crucial that you put the words I'm in. And there I see Michael says he's in, Janice is in, all right? For the first 15 people, you're going to get your own virtual assistant, and that person is going to be able to help you with researching topics, coming up with title ideas, writing out descriptions, communicating with your writer, or anything else that you can think of. Again, you'll get that person for 40 hours for free. This is a $600 value. That's why I have to limit it to the first 15 people, because it does cost me money. You're also going to get access. Some people are asking for the URL. Let me put the URL in here as well for you. All right, so it's 30dayprofits.com, 30dayprofits.com. If you put that in, and I'm going to answer all of the questions. I know we have a ton of questions that are coming in. Rhonda says she's in. Rhonda, good to have you. All right, again, put I'm in once you get in. All right, so I know what bonuses you get. And we've got a lot of I'm ins coming in here. All right, so let's see here. Let me just get back here. So you're going to also get access to the Facebook group here, right? So you'll be able to go in and ask questions. You'll get updates. You'll get to share ideas. You'll get to brainstorm with people that are doing this at the beginner level. You get to brainstorm with people that are doing it at the advanced level. You'll get help so that you're never left alone. One of the quickest ways to be successful is to surround yourself with successful people, right? So again, that URL is 30dayprofits.com. What's one book worth to you? $500 a month, $800 a month, $1,500 a month? How much would you pay to get one great selling ebook per month, per week, or per day? Think about that, right? So you can see why people were paying up to $20,000 plus 10% of profits up to $100,000 for me to set this up for them, right? Now, one of the extra bonuses that you're going to get for everyone that orders right now live from this presentation, you're going to get, my daughter does this, and I didn't actually talk about this at the beginning, but she generates $5,000 a month publishing mystery thrillers using this entire process that I just shared with you, right? If a 15-year-old can do it, you can do it, right? You can do it as well. So you'll get this one-time only exclusive bonus class for those that have already ordered. And in this class, I'm going to show you how my 15-year-old makes $5,000 a month publishing mystery thriller novels. You'll get to see how she comes up with ideas. It's really simple. You'll get to see how she does her research, right? You'll get to see the fishing method that she uses to hook buyers in. She sold over $50,000 worth of ebooks using this method. Plus, you'll get the letter method that she uses to make people buy every single title in her ebook series. So for everyone that orders right now live from this presentation, you're also going to get this bonus class. This is a class that is going to start 6 to 8 weeks from now. All right, and this is a bonus that has never been offered. So again, you want to go in. For everyone that already said that they're in, you get this bonus as well. So continue to put your name in, say I'm in once you go in and order. You can go and order at 30dayprofits.com, right? And you can get in for one payment of just $9.97 or $5.49 now and one additional payment of $5.49 30 days from now, okay? So again, we've got a ton of people that are coming in. The orders are actually flying in, so we're getting close to the limit on the bonuses here. So if you haven't gotten in yet, I'll put that URL into the questions box again so that you have it. You can just click on it. Okay, we've got another person. Clarence says I'm in as well. All right, we have Deb says I am in. We've got David says I'm in. All right, so disposable income, right? Rich Dad, Poor Dad author Robert Kiyosaki says, poor people spend money on liabilities. Rich people spend money on assets. He also says something that's very smart. He says money or excuse, but you can't have both. You can have money or excuses, right? Money or excuses. Now, there's 3 parts to my guarantee here. Number 1 is research. If you can't find a hot topic to create your first ebook around, I will personally help you to get started. Okay, I will personally help you to get started if you can't find a hot topic. Right? So you can't fail at that, right? This is why I put this guarantee together to make sure that everyone is able to have results with it. The other part is outsourcing. If you can't find someone to write your ebook for you, I will give you access to one of my best writers who will write your first ebook for under $150. Right? So you can't fail at this. The other thing is sales. If after 60 days you're not making at least $500 per ebook, I will have one of my top coaches jump on a call with you to help kickstart your sales. All right? So do you see that? Like okay, we still have more people that are coming in saying that they're in. All right, we have Ray says I'm in. Good to have you, Ray. We've got Catherine says I'm in. All right, good to have you in, Catherine, as well. All right. Now, I only want serious people in. Once you're in, you're in. No tire kickers. You'll know if this is for you. I'm looking for serious students that are ready to explode their Kindle publishing business this year. All right, that are ready to get started this year. There's a tale of 2 people, right? And this was me here. Before I started seeing success, I was the person on the left. Maybe you can identify with this person, Timid Tommy. He's the person that's always doubtful. He's the person that's always cynical. Oh, it won't work for me. He's the person that is always skeptical. You know, maybe these gurus can do it. Maybe Ty can do it, but I can't do it. So in turn, nothing ever helps. He works for him. He never takes a chance. And then you have other individuals like Brave Bob, who you see over here on the right-hand side. Brave Bob believes that he can do anything. He can do it. If someone else has done it, he can do it. All right, we've got Bill. Bill says, I'm in. Good to have you in, Bill. All right? Brave Bob believes that if someone else can do it, he can do it as well. Right? That's the attitude that you have to take. That's the attitude. Right? If someone else can do it, you can do it as well. Right? Now, let me just show you what you're going to do here once you get in. We've got Alfred. Alfred is in. All right, so we're coming down to the wire here. If you want to get in, you want to get these bonuses, jump in right now and go in, get your order in, and make sure that you're able to get the bonuses. So once you get in, once you visit the page, you're going to see a page like this, and it'll have all of the bonuses. Right? If you still see that the bonuses are available, then they are still available for you. It's not too late, as long as you go in and get your order in. As we run out of the bonuses, they will disappear. So if you don't see them there, then it's disappeared. Now, everyone that does order live, you are going to get that bonus class. You'll go in, you enter your first name here, your last name here, your primary email address, your street address, and your credit card information. You hit submit, and then you get instant access to the program. You'll be able to get in now. You'll also be able to join the Facebook group. And once you do, come in and say hello. Here's everything that you're going to get. You'll get the setup, which is a $997 value. This covers setting up your account, how to get started quickly, what not to do so that you don't get banned. All right, you'll get Kindling for Profits, which covers finding the right niche and readers, niches that sell and readers that buy. You'll also get the Buyer Magnet module, which covers the critical must-have elements that will make your ebook sell. We talk about covers, pricing, descriptions, reviews, right? You'll also get the KDP Cash Extraction module. And then you'll get all of the bonuses. Bonus number 1, the Google Kindle Crunch bonus, which accounts for 30% of my sales. Like I said, if I do 30,000 in sales, this accounts for about 10. What I share in this module accounts for about 10,000 of that. You'll also get the Money Multiplicity bonus, which triples your ebooks exposure by allowing you to take the same content and not only upload it to the Kindle Direct Publishing platform, but also the Barnes & Noble's Nook and Apple iBookstore platforms. You'll also get your bonus virtual assistant for 40 hours as well. Total value of everything here is $12,585. Now here, there's nothing special about me, right? Some people, as I shared earlier, they have a timid Tommy approach to life where they don't want to try anything. You know, I personally can't write an ebook to save my life. I failed English 101 not once but twice in school because I'm an overachiever, right? But I'm still doing over $30,000 a month in this. I spent nearly 5 years of trial and error and thousands discovering the secrets that I'm giving you today for a small, one-time only intelligent investment. All right, so you can spend countless hours doing it the hard way, or you can take the shortcut that I'm giving you and get access to everything that I've shown here. Now, we are coming to the end of this webinar, and I want to answer all of the questions that you have. So let me go over here to the questions. If there's any questions that you have, let's cover them right now. We've got more people that are saying I'm in. So here's the thing. First 15 people, your own virtual assistant. Everyone that orders right now live, you're going to get the special class as well, where I'll show you how my 15-year-old makes $5,000 a month publishing mystery thriller novels. You can get started for just $9.97 or 2 payments of $5.49, one now and one 30 days from now. Here's a testimonial that I got. I woke up one morning and this was on my phone. And it's from one of my students. He says, Ty, I wanted to update you. Since I've been doing a lot more, my Kindle business has more than doubled. This month will be my first $5,000 a month. He's doing $5,000 a month. I want to thank you for all of your guidance and inspiration. My goal is set on getting to the $10,000 per month level by June 1st. All right. One of my students, this guy's over in Pennsylvania here. All right. Here's another one of our students. This is in the Facebook group here. Her name is Linda. And she says, I'm so happy about this group. I'm in another group, not Kindle, and I got Ty's program last year, and I'm so glad I did. I made several $1,000s last year, and that's after stopping writing after several months. Okay, however, I started writing books again about 3 months ago, and she had a health issue, so she had to stop writing for a few months, and while she stopped, her royalties kept coming in. Like, she kept making money with this thing. Think about that. With a regular job, that doesn't happen, right? With a regular job, once you stop working, what happens? Your paychecks stop as well, all right? Here's that testimonial from Darren DeVry again. Ty, over the last year, I've continued to follow the Kindle cash flow system, and I'm now doing $20,000 per month in sales. Okay? You can get it now at 30dayprofits.com. Again, remember Tony Robbins says if you want to be successful, find someone who has achieved the results you want and copy what they do, and you'll achieve the same results. Okay? Here's everything that you'll get. I'm going to cover questions now. And let's see, what do we have here that's coming in? Okay. Actually, here, let's look at the questions here, and I'm going to cover, again, whatever questions you have, just add them in here. There's no such thing as a dumb question. Margie says, do you recommend starting out joining Kindle Select for 3 months versus starting out signing up with regular Kindle publishing? Actually, Margie, that's a great question here, right? I don't sign up for Kindle Select initially, not at all. I get my books rolling, I get some momentum going, and then let the sales roll in. Let's see. What else do we have here? Who else do we have here? We've got Michael says, I'm in. Thank you for the inspiration, Ty. I can't wait to get started. Oh, thank you, Michael. I appreciate having you here, too. What else? Deb says, I like the fact that you offer such amazing support. We often hit roadblocks, and usually no one is there to help. Thank you, Deb. And that's the thing, Deb. I said that, with this, the reason why my students see so much success is because they have the help that they need. We're here. You can send a support ticket. I'll jump on a Skype or a phone call with you. We have the Facebook group, all right? So there's multiple ways for you to get help here. Many, many ways for you to get help, all right? And for everyone that's gotten in, as a matter of fact, I want you to join. I actually have another Facebook group, right, called Let's All Make Money Online. So if you want to join that one, please go in and join that group as well. And in that group, we just share a lot of great information, okay? So you get the Facebook group as well as our Let's Make Money Online. So go ahead and join that one. I just put the link into the questions box. Christy says, should you have a separate email for the Kindle Publishers account for communicating with them? Crystal, no, you can use the same email that you use for your regular Amazon account. Okay? Great question. What else do we have? Robert says, I'm in. Welcome aboard, Robert. So here's the thing. Because I'm maxed out at the bonuses, I'm going to make 5 more bonuses of everything available. For the next 5 people that get in, everyone will get all of the bonuses, all right? So whether you're watching this live or the replay, you'll get the bonuses if you're one of the next 5. Let's see who else. David says, I'm in. Oh, yeah. So David says, can I translate my ebooks to other languages? That's the beautiful thing about this, David, is Amazon allows you to publish not only in English, but Spanish and Portuguese and other languages as well. Great question. All right. Let's see. Looks like the... Oh, price point for the different ebooks. So, Christy, I find that the best price points is... So I'll start off low. I'll start off at 99 cents to $2.99. And then once I start to get some sales, some momentum, then I increase my prices up to $4.99 and to $9.97. And I actually test those price points, right? So I always start off low to get momentum, though. Margie says, if you offer a bonus, where should you place it in the book and in the table of contents? Margie, so your bonuses at the very beginning, right? And then at the end. Bonuses at the, if you put in a link in or something like that, all right, very beginning and at the end. Okay, so, right, so someone else is asking for that Facebook group. I just put a link in there so you can go in and join that. What else do we have here coming in? Looks like we are done with the questions here. Greg, can you hear me? I don't know if Greg is muted out on the other side or not. But if you still have questions, I'll hang around for a few more minutes and answer all of the questions. Actually, you know what, Margie? We have a great review software that helps you to get reviews. It's actually in the Facebook group, so you'll see a link to that in there as well. Margie was asking, how do you get reviews? Right? All right, so it looks like we have reached the end of the presentation. All right, I want to welcome everyone that's gotten in. Give yourself a pat on the back. And that looks about it. Thank you, folks. Angelique says, how does this one differ from the one that Greg offers? Well, this is with this program, Angelique, you're publishing digital Kindle books. With Greg's program, you're publishing a physical product. You're making a physical product available. So it's like a kit. Right? This is all digital. You don't have to send anything in. All right? Christian, can you send us an email? I'm going to give you, and we can set that up for you. I'll give you an email address to contact us at. I just gave it to you, so let me know if you've gotten that, and then you should be all set. All right? So, again, thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in. Give yourself a pat on the back for staying till the end. And have a great day, great night, great morning. Thank you. I'm going to leave this slide up for a while for those that... Here's the other thing. If you need to talk this over with a business partner or your significant, your spouse, I'm going to leave this slide up. Write the URL down. Okay, so that way you have it on hand and you don't lose it. So it's 30dayprofits.com. David, I didn't see the answer. What? Yes, I can. I didn't see the question. Oh, that's the industry that you're in right now. You can do some great stuff with this. So you can use it as lead gen. You can use this as a lead generator. Right, we do a lot of lead gen stuff with Kindle books. Does that make sense? So we have a lot of investors and people like that real estate agents, insurance agents that really get some really highly qualified leads in. They can publish an ebook based on, so let's say if you're a real estate agent, you can publish an ebook titled 21 Things You Should Look For When Buying a House. Right? And then in that ebook, you have a link to your opt-in form where people can sign up. And now you have those leads that you can then follow up on. Right? Same for the investment industry. Right? How to invest in gold, how to invest in silver. Right? And then you have a link that leads to your opt-in form, and now you have all those leads. This is one of the easiest ways to generate leads, really highly qualified leads, because the people that are buying those ebooks, those types of ebooks, are really genuinely interested in the subject, right? Okay. All right. Well, with that, I want you to have a great day, great night, and thank you for being with us. I'm going to leave that page up for a while.
Someone who fights their way through all the things that they go through. Do not give up on your marriage. Do not give up in school. Do not give up on your goals and your dreams. You want to be an athlete. Grind. You want to open up that company, that organization. Grind. Nobody has to convince you to do what you have to do. Wake up early. You stay up late. You will do whatever you have to do to get where you need to go. Who gave me $5 grand when I was at Michigan State doing my program? I didn't have no budget, but I didn't need a budget. I had a dream. I didn't need no help. The president never came and said to me, E.T., we're going to help your program for this institution grow up. The president never came, and I never quit. I never gave up. Why? Because it wasn't her dream in the first place to take care of a group of kids from the D. It was my dream. It was my goal. I don't expect you to believe in my dream like I believe in my dream. And the problem with some of y'all is you want somebody else to support your dream. It's yours. I don't owe you a dime. It's your dream. If you wanted to have it, beat your butt up and make it happen. If you wanted to have it, rise and grind.
The warfare is in your mind. It's not in your checkbook. It's not in your savings account. It's not on your job. The fight that you got to fight is in your mind.
There is always someone on your heels. There's always someone with talent. There's always someone hungry to take what you have. So where's that differentiating factor? It's within. It's in your life. If you're number one, you gotta act like you're still number two, trying to get there. These people are relentless. You are always replaceable in the office, on your roster spot. And every year I tell you, there's always gonna be someone with more ability, with more privilege. So where's your competitive edge? It's up to you to muster it up and revisit your past where you weren't the top dog. Revisit that pain. Check yourself for that hunger and deliver it from the inside out. Outthink them, outsmart them, outwork them. I will not be outworked, period.
Well, one of the things about life, you're going to get hurt. You're going to make some mistakes. You're going to fail your way to success. But you got to be willing to experiment. You got to be willing to push yourself. You got to be willing to challenge yourself by putting yourself in a perpetual state of discomfort.
It's time to put your best foot forward. It's not about just putting in hours. It's about what are you doing with those hours you're putting in. Stay focused in accomplishing every single goal, every single day. We're trying to reach a pinnacle point. Nobody else can give you the effort that you need. Nobody tells you when you're successful. You know when you're successful. You know if you put in enough time to become great. You know when you're good. And there will be times when you feel like giving up. You just got to go one more mile. You got to go one more day. And I guarantee you'll find that motivation that you need. There's something that's built on the inside of you that man cannot give you. Your life, your health, your business, the situation that you're going through, everything that you've been through should push you to your destiny. Today is the day.
There will never be a point in your time in your life where it's the right time to do a great thing. If you're waiting for that perfect moment, that perfect timing, it's not going to happen. You know what you have to do? You have to create the perfect time and the perfect opportunity and the perfect situation.
So that a lot of people become comfortable. They stop growing. They stop wanting anything. They become satisfied. People getting ready to go to jobs that they don't like. Jobs that are making them sick. You see, when you're not pursuing your goal, you are literally committing spiritual suicide. When you have some goal out here that you're stretching for and reaching for that takes you out of your comfort zone, you'll find out some talents and abilities you have that you didn't know you have. When the messenger of misery visits you, what are you going to do? What will keep you in the game?
There are things that you think you'll never need to know, that you may only need to know one time in your life, but that could save your life because you had that knowledge.
Unless you attempt to do something beyond that which you've already mastered, you will never grow. What is it that you looked at some point in time and you decided that you couldn't do it, that you talked yourself out of it?
you're waiting on your next door neighbor to make it happen for you, it may not happen. If you're waiting on your mother or your father, they may be so ancient in their thinking that they don't understand this opportunity that you have. And if you're waiting on them, it may never get done. You don't beg average people to be phenomenal. You don't beg good people to be phenomenal. You just are phenomenal, and you will attract phenomenal.
What reason can you remember that you can call on, that you can reach on, that can make you get back up? Find that reason.
If you're not where you are, if you're not where you want to be, if you don't have what you want to have, if you're not where you think you should be at this particular place, it has nothing to do with the system, but it has everything to do with the fact that you're not making the sacrifice. I want you to make that dream become a reality, because if you don't, you will be working for somebody else to make their dreams become a reality.
Everybody is against you or don't believe in you no more. And let me tell you something, that's a lonely feeling. It's a lonely feeling, particularly people that you're doing it for. Most people take their greatness, take their ideas to the graveyard with them.
Listen to me, if it was easy, everybody would do it. There are people right now who are working who don't want to work. There are people who hate their jobs, but they keep getting up to do it.
The wealthiest place on the planet, graveyard. Because in the graveyard, we will find inventions that we never, ever were exposed to. Ideas, dreams that never became reality. Hopes and aspirations that were never acted upon.
Question is, what are you going to do with your time? What drives you? And greatness is a lot of small things done well. Day after day, workout after workout, obedience after obedience, day after day.
When things don't work out for you, when things happen that you could not anticipate, what are the reasons that you can think of that can keep you strong?
You will never, ever be successful until you turn your pain into greatness, until you allow your pain to push you from where you are to push you to where you need to be. Stop running from your pain and embrace your pain. Your pain is going to be a part of your prize, a part of your product. I challenge you to push yourself.
See, it's easy to be on the bottom. It doesn't take any effort to be a loser. It doesn't take any motivation, any drive in order to stay down there on a low level. But it calls on everything in you. You have to harness your will to say, I'm going to challenge myself.
I mean, that's what you did last week don't count. Today, the only important day. There are 86,400 seconds in the day, and how you use those are critical. You got 86,400 today, and what you do today is going to seep into who you are. Nobody's going to talk about what you did last week.
That the biggest enemy you have to deal with is yourself. There's an old African proverb that says, if there's no enemy within, the enemy outside can do us no harm.
You have this opportunity of a lifetime. It's absolutely nothing if you don't take advantage of it in the lifetime of this opportunity.
I got to say that when life knocks you down, try and land on your back, because if you can look up, you can get up. If you want a thing bad enough to go out and fight for, to work day and night for, to give up your time, your peace, and your sleep, if all that you dream and scheme is about, and life seems useless and worthless without it. See, it's time now. If you want to make this your decade, you've got to start saying yes to your life. You've got to start saying yes to your dreams, yes to your unfolding future, yes to your potential, as opposed to saying no.
When you die, die on ease. Leave no dream left behind, God. Leave no opportunity left behind. When you leave this earth, accomplish every single thing you can accomplish. Listen to me, you're going to be here one day, but you'll never get here if you give up, if you give in, if you quit. And finally, guys, you got to want to succeed as bad as you want to breathe. There was a young man who, he wanted to make a lot of money, and so he went to this guru, right? And he told the guru, you know, I want to be on the same level you are. And so the guru said, if you want to be on the same level I'm on, I'll meet you tomorrow at the beach. So the young man got there at 4 a.m. He all ready to rock and roll, got on the suit, should have wore shorts. The old man grabs his hand and said, how bad do you want to be successful? He said, real bad. He said, walk on out in the water. So he walks out into the water. Watch this. When he walks out to the water, it goes waist deep. So he's like, this guy crazy. Adrian, like, I want to make money. He got me out here swimming. I didn't ask to be a lifeguard. I want to make money. He got me in. So he said, come out a little further. Walked out a little further. Then he had it right around this area, the shoulder area. So this old man crazy. He's making money, but he's crazy. He said, come on out a little further. He came out a little further. It was right at his mouth. My man, like, I'm about to go back in here. This guy is mine. So the old man said, I thought you said you wanted to be successful. He said, I do. He said, walk a little further. He came, dropped his head in, held him down, hold him down. My man didn't stretch it, hold him down. He had him held down. Just before my man was about to pass out, he raised him up. He said, I got a question for you. He told the guy, he said, when you want to succeed as bad as you want to breathe, then you'll be successful. I don't know how many of y'all got asthma here today, but if you ever had an asthma attack before, you short of breath, SOB, shortness of breath, you wheezing. The only thing you're trying to do is get some air. You don't care about no basketball game. You don't care what's on TV. You don't care about nobody calling you. You don't care about a party. The only thing you care about when you breathe is to get some fresh air. That's it. And when you get to the point where all you want to do is be successful as bad as you want to breathe, then you'll be successful. And I'm here to tell you, number one, that most of you say you want to be successful, but you don't want it bad. You just kind of want it. You don't want it badder than you want to party. You don't want it as much as you want to be cool. Most of you don't want success as much as you want to sleep. Some of you love sleep more than you love success. And I'm here to tell you today, if you're going to be successful, you got to be willing to give up sleep. You got to be willing to work out for 3 hours of sleep, 2 hours. If you really want to be successful, some days you're going to have to stay up 3 days in a row. Because if you go to sleep, you might miss the opportunity to be successful. That's how bad you got to want. You got to go days without, listen to me, you got to want to be successful so bad that you forget to eat. Beyonce said once she was on the set doing her thing, 3 days had gone by, she forgot she didn't eat. Because she was engaged. I never forget when 50 Cent was doing this movie, I did a little research on 50, and 50 said that when he wasn't doing the movie, he was doing the soundtrack. And they said, when do you sleep, 50? Sleep. He said, sleep. Sleep is for those people who are broke. I don't sleep. He said, I got an opportunity to make the dream become a reality. Don't try to quit. You already in pain, you already hurt. Get a reward from it. Don't go to sleep
until you succeed. Listen to me. I'm here to tell you today that you can come here, you can jump up, you can do flip, you can be excited when we give away money. But listen to me, you will never be successful until I don't have to give you a dime. You won't be successful until you say, I don't need that money. Because I got it in here.
Now let me tell you, if someone told me that something is impossible, I will go out and do it. That's just the way I always was. I was told to my face, you're nothing but a giant muscle. You can't act. You have no future, and you have an accent that is laughable. Ignore the naysayers. Work like hell. Trust yourself. Break some rules. Don't be afraid to fail. I've made a fortune in several careers, and I've been very successful in several careers by believing in myself. Let me tell you, you're going to find the naysayers in every turn that you make. Don't listen. Just visualize your goal, know exactly where you want to go. Trust yourself. Get out there and work like hell. And break some of the rules and never, ever be afraid of failure. I couldn't have gone to one lifting event in my life if I would have been afraid of failure. Because of course there's a chance that you can fail. When you lift the weight, I tried 10 times to lift bench press 500 pounds. And I failed. But the 11th time I did it. So never give up and never be afraid of failure, because otherwise you box yourself in and you limit yourself. You all should go and be hungry for success. You should be hungry to make your mark, and you should be hungry to be seen and to be heard and to have an effect out there. You have to think outside the box. That's what I believe, after all. What is the point of being on this earth if all you want to do is be liked by everyone and avoid trouble? The only way that I ever got any place was by breaking some of the rules. When you're out there partying, horsing around, someone out there at the same time is working hard. Someone is getting smarter and someone is winning. Just remember that. Now, if you want to coast through life, don't pay any attention to any of those rules. But if you want to win, there's absolutely no way around hard work. Don't be afraid to fail. Anything I've ever attempted, I was always willing to fail. You can't always win, but don't be afraid of making decisions. You can't be paralyzed by fear of failure, or you would never push yourself. You keep pushing because you believe in yourself and in your vision. And you know that it's the right thing to do. Success will come, so don't be afraid to fail. Don't listen to the naysayers. I mean, how many times have you heard that you can't do this, you can't do that, and it's never been done before? I hear this all the time. So I love it when someone says, no one has ever done this before, because then when I do it, that means that I'm the first one that has done it. So pay no attention to the people that say it can't be done. Just remember, you can't climb the ladder of success with your hands in the pocket.
Let me tell you something you already know. The world ain't all sunshine and rainbows. It's a very mean and nasty place, and I don't care how tough you are, it will beat you to your knees and keep you there permanently if you let it. You, me, or nobody is going to hit as hard as life. But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done.
Pain is temporary. It may last for a minute, or an hour, or a day, or even a year. But eventually, it will subside, and something else will take its place. If I quit, however, it will last forever.
margin for error is so small. I mean, 1/2 step too late or too early, and you don't quite make it. 1/2 second too slow, too fast, you don't quite catch it. The inches we need are everywhere around us. They're in every break of the game, every minute, every second.
You got a dream, you got to protect it. You can't do something ourselves. I tell you, you can't. You want something, go get it. Period.
Don't be afraid to fail. You can't always win, but don't be afraid of making decisions.
You have to believe that something different can happen. He who says he can and he who says he can't are both usually right.
That most of you say you want to be successful, but you don't want it bad. You just kind of want it. You don't want it badder than you want to party. You don't want it as much as you want to be cool. Most of you don't want success as much as you want to sleep.
Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us.
Deep down, ask yourselves, who do you want to be? Figuring out for yourselves what makes you happy, no matter how crazy it may sound to the people.
Make a choice, right? Just decide what it's going to be, who you're going to be, how you're going to do it. Just decide.
Why not? Why can't I be the MVP of the league? Why can't I be the best player in the league? I don't see why. Why can't I do that?
What did you say to the kid? It ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. Get up. And don't ever give up.
We can stay here, get the shit kicked out of us, or we can fight our way back into the light. We can climb out of hell. 1 inch at a time.
To be able at any moment to sacrifice what you are for what you will become. Most of you won't be successful because when you're studying and you get tired, you quit. I don't do well in math. You're right. You ain't never studied. I'm not good at writing because you have never written before.
Talent you have naturally. Skill is only developed by hours and hours and hours of beating on your craft.
If you are not making someone else's life better, then you're wasting your time.
Don't cry to give up. Cry to keep going. Don't cry to quit. You already in pain. You already hurt. Get a reward from it.
Now, if you know what you're worth, then go out and get what you're worth. But you gotta be willing to take the hits and not point your finger saying you ain't where you want to be because of him or her or anybody. Cowards do that and that ain't you. You're better than that.
Because every day is a new day. Every moment is a new moment. So now you got to go out and show them that I'm a different creature. Now, I'm going to show you how great I am. The 17th chapter of St. Luke is written, the kingdom of God is within man.